Welcome to my playthrough of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Now, if you're confused and you've been following me for a while, you may notice that I've actually played this game before, and I deleted that Let's Play series because I didn't finish it and it wasn't quite up to the quality that I expect from my channel nowadays. If you are new to this channel, thank you so much for clicking on the video. It means a lot to me. I have been doing this for quite a while now. It's been 3 years just about, and I absolutely love it. Video editing is my passion, and I'm very fortunate to be in the position where I can work on them a lot. The decision to do a Let's Play again was because I wanted to do a less scripted video and just talk directly to the audience. It really provides me with a speaking ground to just emulate my thoughts and convey them directly without anything in the middle. So I am better with the written word, but I can definitely keep you guys entertained if you give me a chance. I was told to play Ocarina of Time before trying this out, and I actually didn't, while I did have an N64, I didn't play this game until later. Let's not name myself Thane. I played it on the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition for the GameCube, and I just fell in love with it ever since. I loved everything about it, and I'll let the story start us off. In the land of Hyrule, there echoes a legend held dearly by the royal family that tells of a boy. What kind of boy? A boy who, after battling evil and saving Hyrule, crept away from the land that had made him a legend. So, if you couldn't tell already, this is a direct sequel to the aforementioned game, Ocarina of Time. And Link is going on a secret and personal journey, quote, to find a friend. And that friend, while not implied as to guide new players in, just in case they haven't played the previous game, many believe it to be Navi. I definitely think that's what they were going for. And unfortunately, he doesn't find Navi. I don't know about later on. I don't want to spoil anything, but we get sort of a replacement fairy, and that is Tattle. And I think she's cooler, definitely. She's a bit of a sassy pants, but that's okay. I will take that. And they're gonna scare me off of my horse, just taking a stroll in this dense fog, the Lost Woods. And here we are introduced to the antagonist, which is Skull Kid. And if you've played Ocarina of Time, he is a rather minor character, but here he gets a huge role. Hee, you two fairies did great. I wonder if he has anything good on him. Huh? This guy? Well, that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I'm only the hero of time, that's fine. I didn't defeat Ganondorf single-handedly, or anything. I'm not the wielder of the Master Sword, which I don't have, because I had to put it back in its pedestal and be a child again. So he just half-heartedly kicks me over and steals my ocarina because he is more apt to take that than anything else, and clearly he loves musical instruments because he's the Skull Kid and he plays the flute. What a jerk, why did they hang out with him? And that look that Link gives is so funny. That is the best expression I've ever seen in a Zelda game. Don't quote me on that because there's probably some pretty good Skyward Sword reaction gifs. Yes, I said gif. There's so much, not controversy, I don't know what the word is, but there's so much arguing over whether the pronunciation of the animated gif or gif, and that was actually a Jeopardy question, I got it right, but I believe the creator named it after Jif Peanut Butter because the files stick together or something like that. But a lot of people don't know that, and many people say GIF, so usually I just go with the crowd. I join the bandwagon. Alright, so now we have access to Link's sword and shield. We don't have to buy them from a market. And yeah, there's nothing in our inventory. We didn't take any items from the last game, so we're starting off fresh. And that's not... I think that's intentional to make sure that new players aren't scared away. And we're going to do some awesome parkour right here. Come on, he's just showing off. Leaping from stump to stump. Leaping and bounding like a monkey. And this is our first glimpse into what the game has to offer. And I don't think anything like this was in Ocarina of Time, but we have these symbols flying up towards us. Pretty neat neon effect. And we will learn what those all mean later on. So he lands on a flower and doesn't die. And yeah, that light has... It's sort of like a projector effect. I don't know. I had something as a kid where it was a flashlight and you could put a dome over the light and it had all these different shapes like stars. So I had a friend play this game and they thought that he had killed the horse. And of course, with this ominous atmosphere, you'd think that that's accurate, but no, it's alive. I didn't tell the friend that, but oh well. We're zooming in on Link's beautiful face, which got an update treatment. And he's surrounded by creatures known as Deku Shrubs. I said Deku Shrubs. I meant Deku Scrubs. I apologize. So he's running away, hands on his face, and a giant one comes toward him. That was quite terrifying, and I like the after effect. And those symbols on the ground always... Sorry to keep switching between context so quickly, but I just have so much to say about this game because I know a lot about it. I research it on my free time, and when I'm not playing it, I'm looking up things about it. So yeah, anyway, those symbols on the ground, it's totally, I believe it to be unintentional, but it's really funny to think of it as like a disproportionate Triforce, and you just gotta look at this is a different land than Hyrule. You're not in Hyrule anymore. They're not protected by the Triforce. And that moon is coming down. So Termina is suffering, and we'll see soon. Skull Kid, wait for me, I'm still here. Taylor, you can't leave without me. And also, if you couldn't tell, their names are Tattle and Tail. You! If I wasn't dealing with you, I wouldn't have gotten separated from my brother. Well, don't just sit there, Deku boy, do something. Why are you looking at me like that? What, is there something stuck on my face? Well, you don't really have a face, it's just a glowing ball. Will you stop staring and just open that door for me? In red highlight. Please, come on, a helpless little girl is asking you, so hurry up. How do you tell genders? How do you know? I don't see any reproductive parts on you. You're just a fairy. A very undetailed fairy at that. So I didn't even... There was no animation of him opening the door, it just happened. Hey, wait for me, don't leave me behind. So that stuff back there, I apologize, so take me with you. Alright, that's fine. Of course I want to know about him, of where he might be going. I don't know what's up with this red text. It's highlighting important parts just in case you're skipping through, hoping that the player will pick up on this stuff. Oh, you'll still be my partner throughout the entirety of this journey. Don't you worry, Tattle, I know already. If I figure something out, press up triangle, and I'll tell it to you. Unfortunately, I'm not playing. Yeah, break the fourth wall. I feel you, Link. I'm not playing on an N64 controller. This is the Wii Virtual Console version, and I actually had to buy it on the Wii Virtual Console and transfer it over to the Wii U so I could record, because I'm using an Elgato HD, so I guess we'll fool the system into thinking that I am playing this in HD. But anyway, yeah, I'm playing as the classic controller, and I haven't used it before, but it's actually quite comfortable. I didn't like it at first, and undeniably, if you ask any Nintendo fanboy, or just anyone who loves video games, an enthusiast, they're going to say that the GameCube controller is hands down the most comfortable playing experience ever. There's a reason it's so popular within the Smash community, because it has the biggest competitive scene I've ever been a part of. Press C and talk to me. No, I'm all set with that. I'm just gonna come over here. But yeah, this controller is quite good. I recommend it. It's strange, but the way you look right now sort of looks like this tree. Looks all dark and gloomy, like it could start crying any second now. How sad. That is quite sad, and that's a reminder of what's to come in the very near future. Not a reminder, but foreshadowing. We'll put it like that. So this is a dreary sequence. I believe I was on the topic before, but I love the after effect, the ghosting that Majora's Mask uses a lot of. It's really neat. So I'm going over here because there is actually, you see the N64 controllers? It's a bit blurry, so it's hard to make it out, but those plants are shaped like N64 controllers. It's just a neat little Easter egg that I found. I played around in this area a lot as a kid, and I was playing this on an emulator, and I was actually having fun with the cheats, and I was making myself go over that door, and it was really funny because it replays the animation again. But yeah, don't use emulators, kids. I have to put that disclaimer. Please don't copyright sue me, Nintendo. And now we're Deku Link, and we're gonna play through him for a lot of the game. You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? I should give him more of an eerie voice. Yeah, hide behind me. It's okay, I'll protect you, buddy. I own the Happy Mask Shop. I travel far and wide in search of masks. During my travels, a very important mask was stolen from me by an imp in the woods. So here I am at a loss, and now I found you. Now don't think me rude, but I've been following you. Now, I cosplayed the Happy Mask Salesman. I absolutely love his demeanor. He's very creepy. And that was definitely, I feel, intentional by the developers. His erratic movements and just unconventional way of expressing emotions definitely seems like he knows more than he's putting on. But yeah, I'm a very busy fellow. This sets up the rest of the game. So he has to leave this place in 3 days. And you know, that unironically coincides with the end of the world. If you noticed in the introductory video, yeah, I'll help you, don't worry. The moon is very close to Clockdown, and that's because it's falling. So this game is set up on a 3-day basis, and you have to stop the moon in exactly 3 days, and we'll see how to work around that coming up soon. But I just love, yeah, he gives me the creeps as well, Tattle, don't worry. But 3 days, even if we never sleep, that still leaves us with a measly 72 hours. Oh, don't worry, we're never gonna sleep, we don't need to, we're just characters in a video game. Although you actually can sleep if you listen to a character named Anju. Her grandmother reads you stories, and it'll bore you to sleep. But that's the only time in the game that Link will ever get any sort of sleep. And that dog will chase you. Whoa! I don't know what just happened there. Oh, he's kind of glitching out. But the dog will attack me in my Deku Link form. And I'm going to go to the laundry pool because that's where the stray fairy is I need to take to the Great Fairy because the Skull Kid shattered her into pieces. But more on that kid that's running later. I have more important things to do. I like how he turns to watch me collect the fairy. That's kind of funny. But, yeah, Deku Link's design is really, really cool. He has a wood texture, and actually some trivia. The Skull Kid in Japan, and I don't know, probably not in Europe, but in Japan at least, he doesn't have the wood texture in his face. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll see him coming up soon. But it was actually just shadowed out, and they did that to avoid racism, and they did the same thing with Jinx in Pokemon. They turned her face to purple, so I guess I can understand that. Just, they want to avoid controversy at any cost. And there's actually a really interesting, I'll link it in the description, but it's a list of changes that were made from the Japanese version to the American N64. And a lot of glitches were fixed and stuff like that, so it's definitely cool. I think it's called the cutting room floor, I don't know if that makes sense, but we'll check and see if that was correct later on. So here we have the most terrifying design in the entire game, and that is the Great Fairy. And there's 4 more of them. Terrific. All I can offer you now is this. I shall grant you magic power as a sign of my gratitude. Oh, that was in green text this time. What is this, 4chan? Oh, what did you do to me, Great Fairy? And I'm just overwhelmed with power, so much so that I have to hold it in my body and expand my arms like such. So thank you. The man who lives in the observatory outside of town may know of the Skull Kid's whereabouts. That's where we're going to head next. But we have to do something in the meantime. And once I am Link again, I can come back here and get a gift, as she just said. So she gave me the ability to blow bubbles. And they... Whoa, I never noticed that little design on the door before. That's kind of cool. Huh. Yeah, so blowing bubbles. Not as effective as an attack. Actually, it is surprisingly very effective. And I have a few theories about that. Maybe it's just shooting so fast that it does a lot of damage, or perhaps a more sensible approach would be that it is poisonous. Are you the one who just popped that up there? Not bad for a Deku Scrub. We bombers have a hideout that leads to the observatory. So yeah, we need to get permission from these little brats to get into the observatory and talk to the old man. And you have to play a game of hide and seek or tag to get them all, and they'll give you the code to enter. And they're rather easy to catch, especially as Deku Scrub Link, because he's quite fast. Oh, I said it's easy and then I mess it up, so yeah, I didn't mean to go out there. That's cheating, guy. You should stay. And there's another one of them over here, so I'll catch this one instead. Alright, I don't know why this guy's giving me so much trouble. Come here! Alright, we'll catch you, guy. Watch him glitch out right there. That was pretty funny. Oh my gosh. Come here, man. There we go, I knocked him over. And I caught him. Yeah, there we go, that's fine. So yeah, I know where the 2 others are. Let's go into East Clocktown. And I love my little spin dash. In the 3DS remake, the hat turns into like a spike ball or a small tree when you do the spin attack. So that's a neat little touch. But here he's just attacking with his hat, and he leaves a trail. I call it a skid mark, but that's probably not too pleasant. So I will refrain from calling it that, and I just rapidly assaulted that, I don't know how to say it, cuckoo? You can't hide in a box, you can't fool me, kid. I just attacked that chicken in quick succession. But they're not called chicken in the Zelda series because they have to have a unique name for everything. Alright, come here, kid. Gotcha. Now, I have to go to West Clocktown. I'm just going to adjust the mic real quick. Alright, sorry about that. Yep, West Clocktown is the last location of the kid. And it's kind of strange how there's none in the main area. And the 3DS remake actually changed the location of one of them to the laundry pool. And I think that was... actually, maybe not a good thing to do, because it can be confusing for some players since we already went there for the Stray Fairy, but I guess that is a good place to check, so... I don't know, it just depends. You finally caught me. Well, I guess it's been hours in-game. So, yeah, unfortunately they're not going to give me a Bomber's Notebook as of yet. And that's pretty racist. I don't mean to bring up racism again, but... come on. Why do you do that to Deku Scrubs? That's not okay. 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. There you go. Wrong. Oh man. I am a member. I promise. I swear. Come here, Jim. You're not Jim, but you'll do. 4, 2, 3, 1, 5. Man, am I bad at remembering numbers. Especially when I'm trying to keep you guys entertained. So let's talk to you. 4, 2, 3, 1, 5. That's right, if you know the code, then you remember. Alright, now we're gonna go down here. I'll try not to get so distracted, but if I'm on a thought, I like to finish it. Yeah, the telescope guy is in here, and that's where we're going to go right now. So apparently their secret hideout is under the catacombs of Clocktown, and it's a gross sewer type place. There's nothing over here besides a Skulltula. Oops. I almost died there. And some fishies. So you can catch those in a bottle later on, but we don't need to do that. There's another Skulltula right there. Or I'm saying Skulltula, but I think those are the smaller ones that you get tokens from. I don't know what those are called. I'll have to look that up later, because I am pretty curious, so... Yep, pop that balloon again. That's conveniently right where the doorway is. I'm sure they have to reinflate that every time they want someone to come in. And before I go up the stairs, I'm going to break these pots and reveal another Easter egg, and that is the dolphin. It looks like a shark, but it definitely is a dolphin, and that's because I think in 2000 they were getting ready to release the GameCube, or at least working on it, and that was the code name for the system. That's a cool bit of trivia for you all. Now it's the night of the first day, and you see how time passes? Yep, it's not very much time, but we will fix that later. You new friend? Yes, I am, but they're not nice to me because apparently I'm of a different species and they're not okay with that. Are you their father? Or are you just a creepy old man that's in their little hideout, their place of play? So before... Oh, that's so beautiful. You can see the sunset! The nice, pixely sunset. I don't mean to make fun of the graphics of this game. The aesthetics are quite nice and they hold up for an N64 game, definitely. And more on that later. I plan to do an analysis on what people think of how they hold up on this system. And the N64 is really in a weird spot as far as graphical limitations because they were the first jump into the third dimension of gaming. Yeah, shake your butt at me. It's a glorious booty. I mean, there's not much meat on there, but anyway. Well, did you find that troublemaker? What was that? Yes, that is the Moon's Tear, and apparently it's a very valuable stone that we will trade. A little trading quest to get up to the clock tower, and this is the whole point of this whole segment. So now we will take this back. But yeah, the N64, it's definitely in a weird spot, and I think Super Nintendo games are definitely timeless in terms of aesthetics, but I can't backflip over that. Obviously polygons don't hold up as well, but I love the look of some N64 games, and there definitely are some timeless ones. But anyway, now we're done. I mean, we can go up to the Skull Kid and confront him. But what we're going to do now is skip the time, because you can only have access to where the Skull Kid is located, since he's atop the clock tower, at midnight on the final day. And that's when the moon is falling, but it's also the Carnival of Time, so that's why the door opens and it leads up there. So we are just going to let time pass by. And I'm going to do this a few times, and just watch the Scarecrow dance to Saria's song. And I love how Link doesn't even dance, he just kind of shakes his head. So I like to imagine that he's just watching him for days on end. Night of the second day. So yeah, time is flying by this way. It's a good way to speed up. And he's the only person in the game that can do this. But there's also Andrew's grandmother, which I had mentioned previously. And if you don't have a specific mask, that forces you to stay up all night, which is awesome because it's revealed to be a torture device, which is a scary thought in itself. So yeah, that's some of the masks in this game you have to look forward to. I'm still full of energy. But yeah, if you don't stay up all night and listen to her story, you'll get bored and time will pass, just like this. And you can do 2 hours or an entire half day, like we're doing. And I love that chicken in the cage. Not quite sure why it's there, not sure what the old man's intentions are, but anyway, you're still full of energy, but outside it seems to have gotten kind of dangerous, and he's getting out of town. So he tells me to take care. That's kind of eerie. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes so you guys can see this bit of dialogue. If you play that mysterious song backward, you can slow the passage of time. And if you play each note twice in a row, you can move a half day forward through time. Now, what is he talking about? I won't reveal it quite yet, but there is a key song that's coming up. And we'll see what that is. I'm sure a lot of you have probably already played Majora's Mask, and you'll probably benefit from this playthrough more if you have, but if you haven't, that's great too. And one more thing before we leave here, these staircases, or this staircase, I should say, is rainbow in this game, obviously, but in the 3DS remake, they made it brown for some reason. I don't know why they changed that. I love the Astral Observatory. It's a great ambient place to be. But if you didn't catch when I was walking just now, there are earthquake tremors happening because it's the final day and because the moon is so much closer. And I forgot to look up on the first day to see how far away it is, but now if we look up at it, it's very scary because it's right there. So Tattle's trying to talk to me and she'll chime in every once in a while, but I just do not. I won't respond to her because I already know what I'm doing. And I can't quite jump there yet, but there's a secret over there and I'll lead you guys to that later. So I always thought this sign, I don't know if anyone else did, but I always read it as I lick, and it's an Octorok. It's quite scary. That's a tentacle. I won't make a joke there. But that also looked like a dog to me, but it's one of the carpenters, and I love the posters in this town, and Majora's Mask 3D really took that up a notch, and I appreciate them adding more to the environment, and it's really a great place. It's really a cool place to be, and I love how they did that, but absolutely guaranteed you shall guard your assets, Clocktown Bank. Cool. So yeah, there's a bunch of signs, and this is not Hylian. It's probably similar, but I guess the language is Terminian, or the writing. Yeah, so that's about it. We're just waiting for the clock tower door to open so we can confront the Skull Kid, and this may be one of the reasons that a lot of people would be turned away from the game, would be the waiting, but I really don't mind it, and especially as a kid, it was just so nice to be in this atmosphere. Yeah, I know. We have half a day left. It's so much fun to explore and just see this world that they've built, and even if you're not playing the 3DS version, which expanded upon that, you still are sucked into this environment. Look at all the detail on the walls, the graffiti. It's really, really cool. Just that paint style and aesthetic is unique to Majora's Mask. And before I go up, I will mention this guy. He's very scary. And it's so funny, the texture on his mouth. Hey Deku Kid, you waiting for us to finish the bridge from the festival tower? Sorry, my apprentices panicked and ran away. I guess they're not even supposed to be apprentices. I just read that from the Japanese version. They were just part-time workers, but... Wait, hang on. He also swears, and they censored that. But I'd have to talk to him again to see that bit of dialogue, because they changed it to, "This stinks worse than Dodongo's breath," which is an enemy in the game. "This is my private property." "Yeah, well, I have something you want. This town's carnival is starting to look a little iffy. I'm thinking of closing up shop so I can get a gift for my wife and return her in my village. I've heard that a stone called the Moon's Tear shines brighter than any other in the land." Yeah, so that was the purpose of that entire Astral Observatory, going there and seeing the man and making the moon cry to produce the stone. So he's extremely happy, and he gives me this title deed, and it gives me permission to use the golden Deku flower. Yeah, I already know that. And that bit of dialogue actually tells you what to do later on in the game, and if you keep the title deed, you can trade it, or sell it, I guess, to other Deku Scrubs in different areas of the game, and that leads to various heart pieces. It's really nice. So yep, we're gonna fly up here, and it's probably, yeah, that's what I thought. The cutscene plays out. Unskippable. Where am I? I'm supposed to be frozen in the air. That's where you left me off, or did I just crash land with my pedals? That's not very nice. I don't want to be injured, thank you very much. Maybe I made it up there. Who knows? We'll see. So that's the door opening. It's pretty, that build-up is nice. It's really awesome, and this game's environment, I can't say it enough, it draws me in so much. So, yep, I did land. Apparently I crash landed, it just didn't show that. So you can go over here, but there's not really a need to. I don't even think I can reach that platform yet. I'll have to hookshot when I am Link, and I have the item. Don't stop now. You just stopped me to say that, Tattle. I was going up there, you didn't have to tell me. There's a crescent moon, and our antagonist again. Last time we met, you shook your butt at me. What do you have to say this time? What do you have to say for yourself, Skull Kid? Hello? Oh, there you go. He sees me now. I like how it's just the classical boss, where he's doing nothing until your arrival, and then he slowly turns around. Tail, I've been waiting for you too. Hey, Skull Kid, what if you gave the mask you're wearing back now? I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that glorious mask is going to be kept. Hurry, the 4 who are there, bring them here. So those 4 locations are the major areas of the game. And this game only has 4 dungeons, but I don't think only is the word to say there, because there's so many side quests, and the methods to get to each dungeon, like just to gain entrance and access to the dungeons to try and complete them, are dungeons in themselves. I mean, there's a lot to do, and again, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's another video that I recommend, and I'll definitely put it in the description. I'll try and remember all this, but I'll be listening to myself speak again, because I'll have to go through the editing process and everything, cut out things I don't necessarily like. I'll try to keep it as raw as possible, just sort of like a live stream format, even though I'm not going live. I would like to get into the Twitch scene though, but I don't know if it'd be worthwhile to make that venture into the medium, so yep, I just shot a bubble at him, and that was apparently enough force to make him drop the Ocarina of Time. Memories of Princess Zelda come rushing back to you. And this is going to be the only cutscene that Zelda is in the game. The only mention of her is right here. There's no Ganondorf either. I mean, in this timeline, he's defeated or sealed away, but he vows for his return. And that's what I love about Majora's Mask, because they use a new villain, and Zelda games seldom do that. There's really hardly any. I mean, there's Vaati, which is used pretty frequently, at least in, I think, let's see, the Minish Cap, Four Swords. Not really familiar with any other uses of that villain, but there's also the DS games with Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass, which were pretty solid entries in the series. They're not, I guess they're just meant to be fun little Zelda titles to wait past the time until the console releases. Or no, there's been some pretty solid. I shouldn't say that, because A Link Between Worlds was fantastic, but there was kind of a drought for old school, the two-dimensional Game Boy games, and they had the Oracle and Season games, which I didn't play, and those were really well received. I think Minish Cap was pretty solid as well, but yeah, Link's Awakening was a favorite among many, and I think many people weren't necessarily wowed by the standards that were set. So that's, I guess that's the point I'm trying to make here. I'll get it. I digress though, I'm going off topic, and now we have the Ocarina of Time back, and we just had that cutscene and relearned the Song of Time. I think this is a glitch. I'm just going to pause for a second. Tail is in the floor. Look to your right. What the heck is happening there? Okay, well, when did you get that instrument? That sounded very unsurprising. Or unsurprised. So yeah, I don't know if it's specified, but I believe the reason that it's turned into Deku Pipes is because of magic. So yeah, this is how the game works. This is the only way you're going to save, with the exception of checkpoints. But we're going to return to Dawn of the First Day. So the only way to save the game is to rewind time, and that's the main mechanic. You have 3 days to stop the moon from falling, but you can keep repeating those same 3 days over and over again. And we're gonna have flashbacks of what has just happened and what's led to this point. But we are reversing time, and that's such a cool feature. I don't know any games that do this, and it really reminds me of Groundhog Day, that movie starring Bill Murray. And it's just so cool, just the concept, and all these characters, they have their own cycles and individual lives, and you can affect them as Link. And unfortunately you have to rewind time if you help any of them, but that's just the beauty that is this game. It's the inevitability. So yeah, everything has started over. The moon is back in its original position. It's still pretty close, but at least it's further away than it was. And I must say, I'm probably going to give a little... I'll put a cutscene in at some point of the moon crashing to see, just so you guys can see what the game over looks like. But it's amazing. If you let time run out, the apocalypse happens. It's just incredible. So yep, we got the ocarina back. We don't have Majora's mask, so he's probably going to get a little mad. Ah, dog! We'll just see what he says. So, hey, buddy, were you able to recover your precious item? Yes, I have that. I do have that. You're getting a little excited there, though. Then listen to me with this giant piano I've just summoned. Clearly he is a magic user if he's able to pull that. And he needs this gigantic organ to play 3 notes repeatedly. And you could argue that during the cutscene he's actually playing a medley by using the piano, but we only see his animation of playing the 3 notes, and he's just waving his hands around the keyboard. So yeah, that happens. Now the evil is leaving the mask. And right here, so now that you've been introduced to the time mechanic, we're going to see some of the backstory leading to what Majora's Mask is and what we're going to be doing and how we're going to progress the game. So I am turned back into my form, but what's left behind is a mask. So that melody heals evil magic and troubled spirits, turning them into masks. I'm sure it will be of assistance to you in the future. I give you this mask in commemoration of this day. Fear not, for the magic has been sealed inside of the mask. When you wear it, you will transform into the shape you once were. When you remove it, you will return to normal. And there we go. That jingle is so satisfying. You got the Deku mask to keep as a memento. Press start to set it to blah blah blah. Wear the mask to inhabit the body of the Deku. So yeah, you can transform. Now I have fulfilled my promise to you. So please give me that which you promised me. Oh, don't worry, buddy. I'll get it for you at some point. Oh, so dejected. I'm sorry. Don't tell me. My mask. You did get it back, didn't you? What have you done to me? The 3DS version has improved on this form by adding a crosshair while in a first-person shooter mode, seamlessly improving aiming and accuracy for the player. It's also very cool seeing a little spike at the end of Link's hat while performing a spin attack in this remake, and cute observing the little guy's antsy animation while using his shield.